Kayak Bass Nation. Yeah. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation.
Kayak Bass Nation is presented by Dugout Bait and Tackle. Go to dugoutfishing.com to find everything you need for your next kayak bass fishing tournament.
Hope you enjoy the show. Jeff Malott, Lunch Money Lambert, Lego.
Also sponsored by Revo Sunglasses. Go to revo.com, use code KBN25 to save 25% off your next order. Revo, best lenses on earth. Also sponsored by Western Sun Vodka. Go to westernsundistillery.com and use the bottle finder to find a bottle near you.
Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation.
All right, what's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Welcome to another KBN Live. What's up, Brian? How you doing today, buddy?
I'm here, bud. I'm here. I'm surviving.
You're surviving. Has it been a Monday all day long?
Slowly but surely.
Working hard?
Man, they made me wear a suit today. I've been in meetings all day long. My internet's slow. It's going pretty great.
Hey, you got your mobile headphones. You're on the road, so you're doing all right. And your mic's working.
I brought all my stuff. Yeah, I brought all my stuff with me, so at least I got that going.
Yeah, so everybody that's jumping on, we actually got started on time a little bit early this evening. We're doing good, so we appreciate wherever you're watching from, YouTube, Facebook, whatever. Help us out and share this somewhere so somebody else can jump on here and laugh along with us. We usually have a good time. We got the Bassmaster Harris Chain winner, Justin Largen. He's also the second place guy in the AOI over there for Bass right now, so we're going to talk to Justin. And we've got another special guest we're going to sneak in here in just a minute. But yeah, big weekend, man. Bass had their Harris Chain event, and then All-American Series, they had their Kentucky Lake event. Both events had some big fish put up. Jordan Westerman took home that Kentucky Lake event. Jay Wallen made a run at it. So good for them over there.
Yeah, I'm sure Steve-O is going to tell us a little bit about the Bass Nation stuff that he had going on. They had concurrent events, one Tennessee Bass Nation and one Georgia Bass Nation. Our local boys put on a show on Center Hill Lake up in Tennessee. Brad and Terry Golden went back and forth all day long, and Brad pulled it out with Terry in second. And Chris Walters, that fresh off the Classic stage, managed another third place in a bass event. So he's at least Dale Earnhardt on this one for sure.
Yeah, so tournament season's in full swing. I mean, it's March, going on April. We got tournaments happening everywhere, so good stuff. Todd Patrick's in the comments, and Todd showed out at the Bass event, so shout out to Todd Patrick coming in top 3 down there. Good job, Todd.
Todd put it down, man. Good job, Todd, for real. That's awesome.
And then we're going to get Steve here in just a second, but we got some big news Friday, which was the new Dugout contingency program, man. And Steve's going to come in and tell us about that. But how about that for an industry shaker?
That's crazy. I mean, we talk a lot about these manufacturers and teams doing stuff for their anglers. I mean, I feel like Jamie just took it a step further. He's like, I'll take care of all of my customers. Like, take that, suckers.
Yeah, unbelievable. With that said, let's bring Steve in here. Boom, Steve.
Hey, good evening, everybody.
Steve Owens, what's up, my man? We wanted you to come in. Ryan said, you mentioned your Bass Nation events that you guys have, but we want to talk about that for a second. But really, it's all about that Dugout contingency program that dropped. You kind of dropped the mic on Friday with that, man. So tell us about it.
Yeah, man. We, I run the pro staff Dugout, and Jamie and I are always looking at what we can do to, put our people in opportune situations to where they can grow. Not only, what they do in fishing, but what they can do with sponsor outreach and things like that. And our guys do a lot for us, and girls, they do a lot for us in bringing in, potential customers, people to fish the series that we are part of and everything. And, we already have a pretty good grassroots club sponsorship that we do. We do we supply our anglers. They get a lot of benefits for being on our team. And so that's basically what we were doing, was kind of coming up with, what can we do for our staff people when they're out on the road fishing tournaments, get some engagement, get those people's names out there more so that the industry sees them, so that we're not just based off of products, but our guys get paychecks and stuff. So we did the standard, if you finish third here, you do this, that, and the other. And we just decided, let's just go, keep it simple and do one payout deal. And then we come up with this, and or the $1,000, and he said, man, we'll tell you what, let's just do it for everybody. He said, we get a lot of people coming through that travel. We got some people coming in from Wyoming, and, we're just super blessed to have that kind of reach right now in a short time. A little over 2 years is not a long time in the grand scheme of things. So he just like, if you buy the kayak from us, and get out there, and maybe it's an incentive if you're on the fence and you can actually get fit into a tournament. It's not booked already, then, hey, we're going to do it for everyone as well. And it's a genuine sentiment and offer. And that come up at like 6:45 the other morning. So that's how we work. We work early. We work a long time. So just thought it was another way for us to be able to give back, because we're blessed with a lot. And we really appreciate that. And we want everybody to know that, it's real. And we thank you. And without all of you, we'd just be a bunch of fools running around not knowing what we're doing. So
we still know what we're doing.
We're still gonna be that. Yeah,
we're still gonna be the fools, but we're getting. Look at you. You got all. You probably
we'll pay you. We'll pay you to be friends with us.
That's it. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's just.
I was gonna say, give us the down and dirty, just a simple version of how it exactly works for folks that are watching.
Keep your receipt. You cash a check. We watch the standings like I made in my post. We, like you guys, we watch all 3 series, our friends and customers fishing in them. And we pretty well know who came through. But, you bought your kayak from us. We've got record of it. We probably will reach out to you first. But if we haven't, obviously give us a call and we'll get you squared away. It's that simple. We'll cut you a check, mail it to you. If you're in the area and come by the shop, if you want dollar bills or rolls of quarters, we'll arrange that too. So
cash money.
Quarters ready, boy. Is there an attendance limit? Is there a certain number of people that have to be signed up for a tournament to be eligible?
No, if it's one of the, like we stated, a Hobie, the Bassmaster Kayak Series, or a KBF Pro Series, and you bought it from us, you're good. You're golden. So.
All right,
so not Trail 1, Trail 2, but the 2-day event that they have, right?
Correct. Pro 2-day event. Yep. That's why I made sure I put PRO in capital letters.
For all the PKAs out there.
That's right. So
yeah, that's awesome. What do y'all think that does, to the industry as a whole? Does it put some others on notice to maybe come up with their own little contingency programs?
I don't think so. I mean, y'all know how I'm wired. I don't do, the latest, greatest, and greatest step up or get lost kind of thing. We just put our heads down and do what we do, not what we want to do, but what we know we're capable of. Our intentions are always good and well intended. So, we pretty well are going to, come up with what we can to reward the people within reason that support us. And, I hope people mirror it, because it benefits us all in the long run. Because, you want every shop to be successful because they're American people and we're all in this together. So, but no, it's not like a gauntlet or a line to cross or anything. But we're proud to be one of the top shops in the country, we feel, and we want to keep that going. And stuff like this is necessary to keep the engagement,
Yeah, big time moves, man. Big time moves, and just shows that not only are they running a good business down there, but they support what we're doing as anglers and folks out there hustling, trying to get it done. So good stuff.
Yeah, it's just like, jumping in here with you guys. I mean, you put the platform out there for everybody to come and make it whatever you want. You guys obviously run this, but the parameters are pretty broad. Literally, that's why I encourage all the grassroots people. Post your grassroots results on here, man, and that'll start conversations and stuff, and it'll grow everybody, and whether people do that or not, that's on them. I'm glad it's here, and that's it was a no-brainer for us to try to be a part of it. We're glad to be in it.
Give us. I gave a brief synopsis of the Tennessee Bass Nation. Give us a rundown on the Georgia deal. Old brother-in-law slid up in there and cashed him a check. But tell us how the rest of the day shook out.
Yeah, brother-in-law. One more though. You did a great job. We had 6 out of 10 Tennessee Valley kayak anglers go up there, and 6 in the top 10. So we're pretty happy with that too. So we got April 16th, the next TVKA down here for all y'all traveling. Come down here and pre-fish this lake for the Hobie Bass Open Series. And give us a little bit of your money when you come through. So, but anyway, yeah, back to Georgia, man. It was 50 anglers. I was kind of, I was expecting around 70 in that area. The Peach State kayak anglers fished alongside of us on day one. They had 72. But for this being, its first year as a trail series, advertising and getting out there, like during the event, I probably had 30 people messaging me, asking me about the series. They just had not heard of it, and just got to figure out a way to do better at getting that reach out. I know it takes time, but I don't like it unfolding as slowly as it is. But that's me. That's my fault. I know. But either way, we had 50 people. It was amazing to have them. 50 people caught 504 fish in 2 days. Yeah. So we, I think the Peach State Club, that guy didn't get in our event. It had like a 23 1/4 inch largemouth. Our big bass was Jason Barnes with a 21 1/4. I think we had 9 20-inch spotted bass, including Andy Middleton, which jumped him from, I think, 22nd to 2nd place at the time. And he ended up finishing 3rd, took home like $570. Jeremy Meadows took home $950 at 2nd. And Randy Jean finished 1st place with I think he took home $1,400. So we're 100% payout thanks to our sponsors. So not bad for $75 entry fee. And but yeah, like I said, man, everybody showed out. It was just that place down there, dude. I know you've been through Ryan down there, but I want to get back on that Lake Spadagate state. Tom Kazmierski lives there. He finished 5th. He got the last check. So. But yeah, it fished really good. We had a lot of wind, a lot of guys in 360s, a lot of guys with their motors. Michael Mooney qualified for the state championship. It's always good to see that dude. And that was just it. I mean, it's it's that mid-level series, but man, it's a freaking blast. And just the reward of these people being so thankful and grateful, to have the opportunity to potentially get on the stage, and they're as excited about the 2-day Lake Seminole State Championship in November as anything I've heard, in a while. So it's good to be able to produce that for our people, and they appreciate it. So.
Yeah. Why did Tom not shake your hand?
It was so awesome. He texted in that group, Jason Alford. Jason Alford, a lot of people don't know him. He's quiet. That dude is an assassin. He is so slick, quick-witted, like a David Spade kind of deal. But he sent that to us as we were driving, so I didn't get to check till I got home. So I'm going to say Tom had his Costas on, and that was his Perry Farrells there. He couldn't see me, so yeah. But yeah,
fair enough.
He snubbed me. There's a respect for you. Yeah. And what it was it wasn't a big enough check for him because he's won.
That's probably what it is.
That's what it was. He's used to getting that grand. So yeah. Yeah.
Crazy. Well, Steve, man, thanks for sliding by here tonight and giving us the update on what you got going on with the dugout and the Bass Nation stuff over there, man. Always good to have you.
Hey, I appreciate all you guys and always let me come on and run my mouth and everything. But, again, reach out to any of our staff. If you got any questions, anything, people. Appreciate all of you, all of your support, all of your comments, all of your encouragement, and all your suggestions. Because we especially listen to the suggestions. So thank all of you. Y'all have a good night. Hey, congratulations. Do me a favor. Get that guy's mailing address sent to me. I know he didn't buy his kayak from us, but he's going to tell you, like he stopped through the dugout, recently, and I'm going to send him some Seaguar Tatsu for supporting us.
Ooh, all right, okay.
You talking about our guest that's coming up?
That's right.
He just wants some money, man. He don't need no free line. We ain't telling him that. No, we're gonna hook. We'll hook him up when he gets on here for sure.
All right, thank y'all. Y'all have a good night.
Yes, sir.
See you, Steve.
See you.
All right. So before we get Justin in here, a shout out to our other sponsors, talking up Dugout, but I always want to mention Revo, best lenses on earth. We saw that nice vid that Mr. Diesel did on his box that he got from he got those Revo Blacks. They were sick. Did the little unboxing
Dude,
video.
He went all the way to the top with that one.
Yeah,
Hey.
man. So shout out to them. Revo, we've been talking to them. They're working on some things for the nation. So we'll see what we can do with them, but we appreciate their support. And then, of course, Western Sun Vodka, drink of choice for anglers everywhere from Texas to both
These bass
coasts.
are on beds. I don't know if y'all been watching this this little elite event on Santee, but being able to see those fish is a big deal. So make sure you got some high-end shades that can help you out with it.
Man, I was hoping Polinick was going to win so I could come on here and say an Old Town Pro won the
Oh,
Santee
my
event.
goodness. He's been in that. He's been in that what, twice now? I think. That's
Yeah.
crazy. It's really turned him around. Good job.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I figured he'd get calls to try to get in the Santee event, but no can do. There's a big waiting list. I think AJ's gone deep into the waiting list for Santee though, hasn't he? Or at least that one, or Eufaula. He's gone down the list a little bit.
It was Eufaula. I think he cleared out the waiting list. I saw a post. There was one spot available last night.
What is that? Is that FOMO? People signing up and thinking better of it a few weeks down the road or something?
I don't know. I mean, I think you know how life works. Like a lot of people have stuff come up, especially if you're signing up for a tournament a month or 2 months in advance. Like there's a lot that happens between here and there. Old Marky Mark, hopefully he gets to feeling better. Mark's sick as a dog right now at home. We're hoping he gets to Santee all right.
Bless him. I kind of like that, man, because I've got all these tournaments on my schedule that are already paid for. So it's like, it feels like I didn't spend as much, even though I did, because I already paid for them and the money's gone. So, you know,
Yeah.
I'm already paid ahead of time. Feels good. But yeah, man, let's get Mr. Largen in here. Hang on just a second. There he is.
There we
Justin
go.
Largen, Harris Chain winner. What's up, man? Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
What's this wandering the desert?
It's just my Instagram. It's
Aren't you in Virginia?
yeah. I was actually in California when I started. And,
I was like,
yeah, there's no desert.
my boy out in the Virginia desert.
No, California. I got into wildlife photography, and that's really all I was using Instagram for, was just trying to find coyotes and foxes and stuff. So I haven't thought of anything cool to change the name to yet. So
It makes more sense. Now you can change it to Bassmaster Champ. That's what you need to put on there.
Hey, I like that.
Or you could change it to something frisbee golfing with Chase since you're over in Virginia.
God, stop it. Stop that. There's plenty of anglers still in Virginia, Jeff. They're not all frisbee golfers.
I'm always looking out for the froth community. Yeah, man, we're excited to have you on here. Not only did Justin just win this event, but he's also second in AOI right now behind Garrett Morgan, who we just had on for Winning Fork a few weeks ago. So hot in pursuit of the AOI trophy, but now the Harris Chain winner, blue trophy winner. So tell us about it, man. When'd you get down there? Tell us about there it is. Tell us about how long you got down there for the week, what you found in practice, and what it was like leading up to the event.
Sure. I got in town Tuesday, staying at this cool campground called Black Horse Resort. It's more of like for horses and stuff, but they had campgrounds available. So I got down Tuesday, fished just another local lake that wasn't on the chain, just to kind of get tuned up, and then started practice Wednesday. And Wednesday was really cool. The first place that I checked, I ran across a bunch of big bedfish, and I've never caught a 30-pound bag before, but I think I was looking at 30 pounds. At the end of the day, I decided to stick one of them. I'd been shaking them off, but I stuck one, and it was right at 7. I decided to leave it Wednesday or Thursday rather. I basically just started to look for something else, different area. I checked a couple places, and I caught some fish, but I mean, all I could see was those bedfish. I'd love to catch them off beds, and I was just thinking, I'm going to blow this thing out, and I'm going to catch these monsters. And I went back Friday to check them, and just, some of the talking to some other guys that were launching, they said somebody been in there that day before and just wrecked them, or said that they wrecked them down there. And, I didn't know whether it was just, gossip or whatever, but when I went down there, I couldn't find any of them. And I probably had 10 different waypoints marking the beds, and they were just gone. I tried some other stuff. I tried punching some grass down there, and I couldn't get bit at all.
I'm surprised they were still on bed. I figured, they would be spawned and gone. It would be a, kind of a fickle post-spawn bite. That's surprising to me that they were still bedding fish.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping. I thought maybe with the full moon that Friday that there'd be kind of the
Second
last
wave or something. Yeah,
it would push up. People were talking like they've been spawning in January. I know there were some of the elite guys and some of the MLF guys had caught them on beds, but I didn't really see anybody that was just doing bed fishing. It was, if they ran across one, they'd go for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I saw that on Friday, I was just kind of, I went from being super excited, just being real down, and I was, trying to figure out a game plan for the next day. I couldn't decide whether to go down there and just stay in that area and try throwing topwater frog or something, just to see if maybe the fish were still in the area, maybe I could still catch them. But I ultimately decided just to bail on that and go to Plan B, which was Little Lake, and I feel kind of bad naming it, but Trout Lake is like the smallest one on the chain. I think anyway. There's not much to it, and there's a little tiny ramp that you got to use to get back in there. Not a whole lot of spaces, but I went in there one day for a few hours, and I had some decent fish, but I had one good one that was right at 5. And that was the only place I really had caught fish besides those bed fish. So I went back to it for the
Did you see any trouts in there?
I did not. I looked. They should come up with a new name. It doesn't make any sense.
It's like the wandering the desert. I mean, it's
exactly.
just you're throwing people off everywhere you go.
We got a Californian in Florida fishing Trout Lake.
Exactly.
It's all kinds of wild down there.
Exactly.
Look, I'm not going to start any rumors here, but I think Conrad Benetti snuck in and got your fish off the beds. That's what I'm going to say. He snuck in there and stole them Thursday.
It's possible. I don't know who that is.
Oh shit! That is the biggest shot you could take right there. I like it.
It's been a while. It's been a while, Ryan.
That's smooth.
He
said, "I don't know who that is."
It's been a while since we've heard from Cornbread. Times are different now. When COVID first started, we were all captive to the online world, but not as much anymore.
That's all. I like you a lot more now, Justin. That was pretty slick. And you didn't even mean to be. So there.
But yeah, it just worked out. Everything sort of clicked. My plan initially was fish. I'd found some fish. There was just a little stretch of hydrola that basically all those bites came out of. And then there was a seawall kind of next to it where there were a couple of canals. And this was just the entrance to the canals and a little residential area. And I caught one off the seawall in practice. And, I decided to start there. I felt like there might be some kind of a shad spawn going on. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure they were shad spawning, but I know fish were pushing them against that grass and against that wall. I caught a couple fish early, but my plan was to bail midway through the day if I didn't have a good limit and just go back and kind of swing at that area that had the dead fish. I knew where a couple males were that there wasn't much size to them, but I felt like I could at least get a limit that way. And there was one other guy that launched there, and he was telling me he had a tough practice. And I literally told Danny exactly where I caught my fish. I was like, "Yeah, just go here. I'm only going to be here for a little while, and you can sneak in the afternoon if your deal. I don't use this doesn't work." And
was that guy's name Todd Patrick?
I was going to say, was it Todd Patrick?
No. I think he took the Popka. I don't remember. Anyway, it just about every time I started thinking, okay, maybe I need to leave. I'd get another bite, and all right, let me work it again. And I got one that was, I think, 21 and a quarter on the little plug I was using. And that one, I started thinking, well, maybe I need to stick around after I got that. And most of what I was doing, actually, in practice, I was using this, I brought props, a hybrid hunter, the little junior size. And that's what I caught them on in practice. That's what I caught the first couple fish on during the tournament. And I'd gone through the area a couple times and wasn't getting bites anymore, so I just switched colors, and that's what I got that one that was, I think it was around 5. And then it kind of shut off. I went to the wall and kind of went up and down the wall for a little while. and then just I wanted to let that grass area rest, hoping maybe a couple other fish would move in there. And it never really reset the grass. But as I was going down the wall throwing the hybrid hunter, at one point I thought I saw a boil. I thought I heard a splash and a boil. It was hard to tell because it was choppy. I mean, the wind was pounding into it, so you kind of get the waves slapping against the wall. But I could have sworn that the area I just threw that hybrid hunter to, I saw one break on the surface, and I had the worm rod, my missile quiver worms, June bug. It's for Florida, and I picked that rod up and pitched in there where I thought I'd seen the boil, and I don't even think it hit bottom. When I lifted up, that 22 was swimming off with it, and it was hectic. I mean, I was almost right up against the wall at that point. I mean, you could even see it in the picture. But I stuck it, and she jumped right away, and then I was freaking out. And then she went under the kayak and jumped on the other side, and I was freaking out more. Man, when I got it in the net, I was screaming. There were there's like a pool right there for the residents, and they were all standing up trying to figure out what was going on. They all came out and took pictures. That one of the nice ladies there got a couple pictures for me with my phone. But I was starting
camera crew out there. You're
famous. Yeah, it was pretty cool. But I was starting to feel pretty good at that point. I knew, it was Florida, and with what I'd seen in practice, and I mean, there was a bunch of good fishermen in this field. Casey, was there. Drew Gregory, Christine, Guillermo. I mean, I know I'm forgetting people, but there were a lot of good fishermen, and it just seems like it's always 100 inches it takes to win these things. So
Eric, the Richard King Siddiqui was in that field.
Yeah, he was there too. Fourth.
Yeah, good job, Siddiq.
So I was, I did not feel comfortable. I mean, I knew when I don't normally look at the leaderboard, but I was checking it when I was putting the fish in, and I saw I was up there. And, when I got my limit fish, and I had a little 12-inch that I was finally able to get rid of. And then I ended the day, kind of not too far from where I caught that bigger fish. Same deal. There was a pontoon up against that wall. I pitched against the pontoon and caught one. I think it was 17 3/4, and that was the last one that helped me anyway. And I still thought, 93 inches. I for the next couple hours, my heart's racing. I'm all amped up, thinking I just got to get one more bite. And I felt pretty good that I'd get a check. I really wanted one of those trophies, and I felt like if I could get up to 95, I'd have a chance. But I couldn't make it happen. I got a couple other small fish, and I really felt like I hadn't done enough. And that I hate that leaderboard. I hate it when they turn the leaderboard off. It sucks. It was torture.
Unsettling.
It was for a couple of hours. I was just like, I don't know. And it wasn't really until I got there, people were, shaking my hand when I got to the award ceremony, and I was thinking maybe I did enough, and it really wasn't until they announced that it was, I think, a tie for second, third, and fourth. And I was like, wait a second, third, and fourth. And he announced it was, in the 80s. And I was, just kind of hit me. I was like, whoa, I think that, I'm not great at math, but I kind of put two and two together in the back of the room. And it was, I was an awesome feeling.
And did you figure out pretty quick? Because looking at all the pictures on here, there's some big fish caught, but you could tell a lot of them, or most of them, look spawned out.
Yeah.
That maybe you had stumbled on the last of the spawners in practice, and that this was now a post-spawn deal. Did you figure that out pretty quick?
I was thinking that I'd had one, the big fish that I got out of that Trout Lake in practice had a pretty good gut on it, but it didn't look like a egg's gut. It looked like it had, spawned and had been feeding up, sunfish, shad, whatever. But the ones that I was catching, catching on Saturday, they were pretty skinny. I didn't run across any that were, just busting with eggs. So I think I just, who knows? I don't know if anybody actually even went in there and caught them, or if they just, I happened to see them right before they moved off and went back out deep, or wherever they go.
So where are you from? Specifically in Virginia. Do you fish a home club? Like, how'd you get into this deal here?
I'm in Roanoke. I moved back kind of with family in Roanoke after leaving California. but before that, for more than 10 years, I was in Northern Virginia. So I kind of considered that home. And, Potomac is really my home. I feel like my home water. I love that grass. I like fishing tidal water, and it just worked out, with my work schedule. I could almost always, leave work in DC and be on the river for a couple hours in a kayak. And it was just fun. And I started hearing about the tournaments and stuff, over the last few years, but I never, with my work schedule, just time off wasn't easy to get. And, it didn't make sense. And when I left California, I kind of, I basically left the job. I resigned my position, and I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. I just kind of knew I didn't want to do that anymore. And it was a good job. I'd saved quite a bit, and I'm kind of just living off the savings right now. But I decided, hey, let me do the, chase the dream thing. And, I'm already in the kayak, and I never really fished clubs. Fishing was always kind of like a solo deal, just, do the stressful 9 to 5 and then just sort of unwind. And it was just kind of my me thing. But I've met some really cool people over the last year or so. I started doing them at the Kissimmee chain with KBF last year. And part of me wishes that I had done some local events and smaller stuff first, because I made a lot of stupid mistakes and, all the not getting the identifier in the picture and just all kinds of dumb stuff to get, DQ'd and just mess myself up. But instead of doing it, close to home where there's not a whole lot of money on the line, I did it at big events where, where it was a bigger deal. But it's been a cool learning experience, and it really, on the outside looking in, just kind of, I'd seen a few different channels. I'd watched Greg's channel and Christine's channel, and they're great anglers. But watching some of the tournament stuff, I remember thinking to myself, oh yeah, I could do that. I'm a pretty good fisherman. And man, it's a different world when you actually get in tournaments. It's different than going to your home lake that and just fishing it on the weekends. And sure, anybody can kill it doing that. But man, you go someplace you've never been before, and against that kind of competition, trying to figure it out, I got humbled quick. I had a good finish my second tournament at Lake Fork after the Kissimmee event last year, and I just started thinking, okay, this is how it's going to go. I'm just gonna get top finishes all the time, and I want to be up like Russ and everything. No, there are some damn good fishermen out there, and I've really had to kind of force myself to learn too. I'm comfortable shallow, kicking up dirt where I can see them. I like power fishing shallow, but when you
don't
do
we
that,
all, brother, don't we all?
Oh yeah, if you only just do that, like when you don't force yourself to go fish deep in the summertime, when you just I got the Potomac, I'm just gonna go catch some shallow. They're shallow in the summer. You get holes in your game, and I found some of the holes, fishing the tournaments. I've had to get better at fishing deep, and just, stuff like learning how to manage fish, learning how to judge, is this a legit area? Is that a fluke bite? Is this area going to hold up for a 1 day or a 2 day? These trails will sharpen your fishing skills.
Let me ask you this, man. This was a 1 day event, big event, but still just a 1 day event.
Yep.
How'd you approach it differently from a 2 day? And do you think it would have held up if it was what you were doing would have held up for 2 days?
At that spot, I don't think it would have. I approached it just knowing I needed 5 bites. So it was like mentally, it was a little bit, even though I was discouraged that, what I thought was a big fish deal and maybe could have held up. When that didn't work, I knew all I need is 5. It's, you don't have to have necessarily the best area. I would never have thought that area had, the winning fish. I always picture, these guys like Russ and Cody and all these other guys that are, the Jody and all the people I know I'm leaving people out. I just picture them, finding this magical spot, and they just wax them all day, and it's it's I guess it's not always like that. It's kind of eye opener. That little, it only took five good bites out of that little stretch to get a win. It's
we've
crazy.
done like several, kind of averages of winning stringers and stuff, and it's usually like mid to upper 80s for 2 days to win these things. I mean, it's not saying we don't have some just massive 100-inch days on some of these lakes, but for the most part, if you're just consistent, and put 5 reasonably sized fish in the boat, then you've got, like, you don't have to go out and have some record setting day, but doing it, at the right time. And I think where y'all were, it seemed like if you look down the list, a lot of people struggled. A lot of these big name people that you're talking about struggled with the size, I mean, I think because it was kind of a post-spawn funk, you never know what you're going to step into. So, I tell young Edwin this all the time. It takes 5 to get to 10. Like, in these 2-day tournaments, if you don't catch 5 the first day, you're pretty much out of it. Like, at that point, it's pretty much over. You have to kind of dissect this a little bit and attack it in small pieces. You don't need to go out and put pressure on yourself to find a 100-inch bag. Like, that's, you can usually it's one with a whole lot less than that.
I wish we'd been having this conversation a year ago and you were telling me that, because man, I've messed it up on 2-day events a bunch, just either not catching them the first day or catching a decent mid 70 bag and then just trying to go do some off the wall to try and make a jump, and it just
Well, check us out on iTunes or Spotify, Kayak Bass Nation. We got about 2 years worth of stuff you can go back and listen to. We'll solve some problems before they start.
Don't listen to any of the year-end shows if you're looking for tips. Just do those if you want to laugh.
That's entertainment only.
Yeah, man.
Cool.
I was sitting here looking at the leaderboard, and there's one guy that didn't struggle with size. He struggled with numbers. Another Virginia guy, that big bass from the event. Holy smokes! Yeah. How about a 25-incher big bass? He only had 4.
There ain't much board left on that one.
That is a tank.
Did
anybody hear the weight on it? I don't know if he weighed it or not, but I could. There was no.
Judging by the formula, that's about a 12-pounder, I'd say. If I was guessing.
If somebody told me 10, I'd buy it.
Yeah, I bet it was. I mean, it didn't look completely full of eggs, but it was thick. Still thick, or tall, as you say, from top to bottom.
Tall.
Yeah.
Tall bass.
Yeah, I know of at least 110 that got caught in practice. Not by me, but.
Hey, and do you know where the folks were fishing not in the tournament, pre and post? Because like Brad Case was catching 120 inches apparently on a different lake that was not included in the tournament. Then they went and caught him a couple days after the tournament too. Garrett said he went with some guys to a different lake, but apparently there's some honey hole super lake nearby that was not part of the tournament. You didn't get in on that, Justin?
I didn't. I wish I knew. There's a million lakes down here in Lake County. I know if you go, it's probably 2+ hours to get to Kenansville and then Fellsmere. I don't know if they were down there, but
heard about those.
Those places are fun. They're fun.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they were there or if there was another little, one of these little. There's a bunch of little small lakes that.
It turns out that stuff don't help in the tournament, though, as you proved.
Yeah, it's and honestly, I think that helped me. I wasn't really. I can't pretend that I thought of this beforehand, but the boats couldn't get in there. The bass boats, there was a bridge that area was off limits. It's like a railroad bridge that's right on the water that a boat couldn't get under. So all that pressure from the pro trails over the last month, it didn't hurt that spot. And like I said, I wish I could say I thought of that ahead of time, but it worked out.
What's your next big one? What do you got on the schedule for the year?
I think the next one I'm doing is Potomac. It's I'm looking forward to it. I still feel like it's my home body of water. I would have loved to gotten into Santee, but I missed out on that one, and I think I missed out on the next 2 Hobies after that. Even after they told us about the new.
You better set those alarm clocks, boy.
I know. I was like, I'll set an alarm, and then no, I went on at like 1 o'clock, I think, for this last one for Chickamauga, and
Oh boy,
I was already a waiting list. It's
yeah,
like
you were an hour late on that one.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna set the alarm for the next one. Hope. I fished the Toledo event. I did not do well at all. So my goal was to kind of, make the championship for all three trails. One of my goals for the season. So I've got the bass one checked off. But if I'm gonna make the other two, I got some work to do this summer.
I will say that you'll make the KBF championship. I'll go ahead and put money on that. You're pretty safe on that.
Just stay alive till the fall. You'll be
keep breathing. Send out an email or something. You should be fine. Dude, I'm telling you, this TOC is going to be insanely hard to get it. I think you'll see a lot of the usual suspects that are close but no cigar on this one. I think it's going to be super competitive with all these tournaments topping out.
Hell, just look at the waiting list. Some of the usual suspects aren't even in the tournaments.
That's true. That's what I'm saying. I mean, this is going to be a big shakeup year for the TOC for sure. I hope I can squeeze back in there somewhere. Maybe Chick will be good to me this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like their format. It's, each of the trails is different, but that Hobie one it really is a tournament of champions. You got to win, or I think it's like the top 20 something in points that they take.
Usually is about how it shakes out. Yeah. It's top 3 per event, the TOC winner from the year before, and then the rest is filled with AOY points. So, you have to perform at some capacity. You don't end up there, on accident.
No.
Bass also has a qualifying process. We saw that from the field that they just had at the Classic. That wasn't a massive field like that. Those people actually had to work to get into the tournament, which I really like a lot.
Yeah. Think about TOC, man. Last year, for instance, I was trying to grind to get in there. I had a top 15 finish, a couple top 30 finishes, still missed it. You've got to really perform to get there. It can't just be, middle to average finishes or even slightly above. You've got to really make it happen to get there. If it's not top 20 every time or a top 10 mixed in there, you're not making it on points.
That's literally the only goal that I start out with every year since it started, is just to get to that tournament. That's the sad part is that's the easy part. Then you go to the captain's meeting and you see the 49 other people in that room and you're like, oh shit, I don't know what I did to get here, but I am confused.
That makes it, that much more of a goal for us to chase. And let me ask you this, Justin, because we've asked the last couple guests, what do you think about the quick sellouts? Do you have an opinion on any adjustments that they ought to make there, or you just think it is what it is and that's just a good problem to have?
I think it's a good problem to have. If you're Hobie, I don't know why would you change anything? The demand is there. You're filling out your field. What more could you want if you're them? And honestly, if you're fishing it, more than 200 people for an event is kind of, my first really big event, this past year, I was at the KBF championship, and 300 people, even with all that water and all those ramps, it is crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And so I've never done, I think the fork a year ago was like 190 something for bass. But it got crowded where I was, but 200 I feel like is manageable, and it's a heck of a payout too. So I can't really say anything bad about their formula. It's on me to get signed up on.
I don't want to see a tournament with, many more than 200 people. I don't even want to see 250, to be honest with you. I think 200, like you said, on some bodies of water, there's enough to spread out, but a lot of times, the mid lake's hot or the north end's hot or whatever, and you end up with everybody just crammed in on top of each other. Not that you're not all in the same boat, so to speak, as far as conditions and fishing around people. It just makes it a lot less enjoyable to me when I have 15 other dudes running through the same docks that I'm trying to fish or whatever. Like, it really messes up your mental game plan, in my opinion.
Yeah, it almost starts to feel like work and not like not like fun. It's different.
Yeah, I got enough anxiety just trying to catch fish where I'm at, much less have dudes breathing down my neck from two different directions.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I'm glad I'm not the only one that gets that, because when I see somebody coming down the bank the other direction, I start to get, makes me want, do I speed up? Do I slow down?
Yeah,
I just
it's
don't
one of the
like
things I have to work on that, Justin, because you got to get over that. But I don't like being crowded or being around people fishing.
I don't like people being like yesterday afternoon, Jeff. Like I sent y'all that picture in the group text. I'm fishing this area, and I fish it all the time. And I have this boat come in and spot lock on top of my fish that I'm fishing. Like he comes across the damn lake and spot locks on my shit like 20 yards in front of me, and it's like a bluff wall and this boat, and I had about a 4-foot gap, and that's where I kept casting. I was splashing water into his boat, and I'm still having fun because I know my fish are there, but I'm pissed immediately because why do people do that stuff? Like, you can't control every variable in the world, but if I can control somebody fishing on top of me, I would prefer to be able to influence that a little bit.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Shoot, I've never had anybody come that close, but that's when you want to start just picking up rocks and throwing them.
Remember last year it was on down at the BOS on Dardanelle. We had an incident. We had to track that. We thought it was Arkansans getting at each other.
Oh yeah,
blocking ponds and yelling at people and stuff. But we got to the bottom of that one.
Oh yeah.
So who knows? As these things get more competitive and more money's paying out, I'm sure we'll have some more confrontations.
Where did you hail from in California? Where were you at out there, and why did you leave? Tim Arthur's in the comments. Is why I ask, and he is a flag-bearing Californian. So I want to give him some insight on why everyone's getting the hell out.
Well, I went out there for work, and it was I guess a promotion to our company's corporate office, and it was a good opportunity for me.
NorCal or SoCal?
I guess it
Mid-Cal?
was Los Angeles or suburbs of LA. So
Gotcha.
and part of me's thinking, there's some big bass in California. I'm still looking
They
for my
say
first.
that. Shoot.
Yeah, they do. I'm thinking I might get my first 10-pounder out there.
You got to snag them out there. That's the deal.
Yeah, that's the trick. Get them trebles.
Yeah, that's one way. No, I never saw one. I never saw one that big. I did find a 9 on a bed in a. I won't name the park. It's a little tiny place, not somewhere where I'd have expected to find one. But I caught my biggest bedfish ever out of a little park bank fishing. But it's I don't know. It's different. It's you're basically surrounded by desert out there, and then you've got. I mean, some of the lakes were cool, but I was just far enough away from I wanted to fish Clear Lake and fish the Delta, and it was like 5-6 hours to get to either of those. And with the work schedule, it was tough to get up there. And I think I made it once to each before I decided to move back. And yeah, I mean, California's cool, but man, the gas prices are crazy out there. Even before, I don't even want to know what they are right now.
They can't even put gas in their kayaks out there. That's how bad
I saw
it
on the
is.
news this morning they're pushing $7 out there. If I
I
saw
believe-
that right.
I believe
They're gonna
it.
have gas at minimum wage in California in just a minute if they ain't careful.
The prices we got here on the East Coast now were, 2 years ago, year and a half ago. It's what it was out there. It's crazy expensive. The cost of living's high. And the weather's great, I guess, but it's different. At least where I was.
LA's got that June gloom though. That's a little cloud that'll hang over you to start your summer off for sure.
Yeah, it's. I'm trying to think how to describe it. It's like the same weather every day almost. You have like a little bit of a winter with some like fog, overcast, and a little bit of rain, but then like the rest of the year, it's just like the same weather every day. And that's one thing that's kind of cool about the East is you get seasons and it's a little different, some variety. But
Hey, we got a comment from YouTube, Ryan, saying he said Jeff, but I think he meant Ryan. Didn't we have a tournament where a kayaker shot a gun at a boat? That was down in Tennessee, wasn't it?
That was on Gunnersville, yeah.
Gunnersville, yeah. Chris
Yeah.
Marks, same thing. Said the same
Yeah,
thing.
same lake I was on, matter of fact, yeah.
doing that.
Yeah, old dude said he's going to run homeboy over, and he popped out that pea shooter and said, "No, you're not." Plop, plop.
Ooh.
Yeah, man.
Yep,
Oh.
gotta be careful on that one. That's a threat.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to jail over a fishing spot.
Boy, I reckon I probably would over a couple of my spots. That one I was on yesterday, I would go to jail over in a heartbeat, but we worked it out.
Now, is that Gunnersville where that was?
Yeah.
Okay, no shots fired though.
No shots fired.
Just some cuss words, and we were good to go.
Just the cuss words. I helped him out, man.
Metaphorical.
I caught a big old bass yesterday, and I went and asked him for a scale after I caught it. I was like, "You boys got a scale I can use?"
Was that mean mouth?
Yeah.
Oh, Justin hit the table and turned himself off.
Uh-oh.
I still hear him.
I gave him the juice, man. They said they lost a 3.5 pounder, and I helped him out a little bit. And I was like, man, if you're trying to get them, you're doing it wrong. Don't park on them.
Yeah, I guess not. They were sitting on your fish, right? They weren't.
Yeah,
they
that's tricky. It's real tricky.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait. Justin will be back, everyone.
I like it.
Stand by. Justin will be back. There he is. He's coming back in hot.
Yeah, ooh, coming in hot.
There he is. You dropped yourself, buddy. What happened?
Yeah, sorry.
What event was that Iaconelli won last year? Was that Upper Potomac or Chesapeake?
Chesapeake.
Was it? Do you think you could beat Mike Iaconelli on one of those DC suburbial bodies of water, whatever they are?
I don't know. He's fished him a lot. He's a hammer.
Yes.
I'm not going to
yes.
him.
Say
No.
yes. We're going on side bets. Say yes.
No. I really wanted to fish the Chesapeake last year. That was one of the ones I couldn't because of commitments. But yeah, I'd love to. The only chance I've actually had to fish against him so far was the championship. And
did you finish in front of him or behind him?
Yeah, I got a top 10. So it was.
So you can hang that over his head for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You're probably taller than him too, so you can hang everything else over his head as well.
There was this one time where I beat Mike Iaconelli.
Yeah, you got to do it, man.
No, I appreciate you guys. I found your stream of the award ceremony. I could not find one from Bass, and
nobody could. That's what I mean. If we didn't pirate that shit, it wouldn't have been out there. That's the crazy part.
And shout out to Todd Patrick if he's still watching. He was in the comments. I ended up sniping his stream from Facebook Live over to ours because I was trying to use Ryan's camera angle, Steve's, Todd's, everybody's we could to try to get a good view of the stage. So yeah,
we tried, man. We tried to cover it.
It gave me something to show the family until the efficient one showed up like a week later.
Yeah. So I don't know what happened there. I don't know if they just lost signal or whatever. But I wanted to ask you about Bass in general before you got out of here. What was your experience with them at the event? Because what we've heard, Ryan and I have been openly, talked about some things they need to clean up in the registration process. But day of, it seems like they do a great job of like media coverage and getting photos out and write-ups and all that stuff. So what was your experience like with them?
Yeah, it's efficient. I can't complain. They've got, like you said, they got the boat out there. I think the fork tournament, the first one I did, they actually ran across me at one point and it pumped me up and I caught one right in front of them. But they call, they have a pretty efficient process for the award ceremony. They make sure they get invites to people. I think other people are invited. But you get the notification if you're one of the people that's getting a check. Excuse me. And then it's a smooth process. They had a little hiccup this year at Fork where the check machine wasn't working. But I mean they hand you your check like on the spot.
That's awesome.
Some sort of technical issue, and I haven't had that at other ones before where you actually walk out of there with your check. I mean, they handed me the trophy, and they're handing me the check, and I'm trying to. I get that too.
Did you have anybody to carry your trophy for you?
No, I wasn't gonna do this.
Oh shit! Somebody said they stayed in the house with Todd Siddiqui, and I said, was Todd still carrying Siddiqui's trophy around?
No, Todd. I was telling Todd he finished second or third in this one, and I was telling him he should have had Eric carry his.
I know. God, that would have been awesome. That would have been awesome. He owes him, man. That trophy is heavy as hell. I felt bad for Todd. He was trying to pass it off on everybody he walked up on. Like, here, hold this for a minute.
Yeah, and Todd was in the comments saying that he was, living his best life there for about 3/4 of the day, leading the tournament. And he thought he had it in the bag till you clipped him there. I guess saw your fish going in.
Sorry, Todd.
But still, awesome show by Todd. He did his thing. He was three-way tie for second. Him, Siddiqui, and Brandon Berlinski. I think that's how you say it. But they all tied with 88 3/4. So
isn't that crazy? I saw that and I was like, is that a glitch or what's happening? Like, it's rare. Sometimes two people have the same limit, but it's rare to see in the top 5 3 people with the same limit. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, if you look at that leaderboard, it was 80s all the way down to 20th. I mean, so folks were catching them, but they were all the same size until you got to Mr. Largen here had a couple over 20, and that looked like to be the difference. A lot of people had A20, but nobody had 2 except our winner here.
There were a lot of people that one bite. I mean, it would have been a different game. A lot of people with one bite would have jumped quite a bit. And especially the other guy that had the 25 and came in one short.
That's a damn good head start right there, pal. Yeah. That's like Casey Reed on day 1 of the Classic when he put that giant up. I'm like, shit, that's a 10-inch head start. He should pretty much ride this one out, I think.
Yeah, if you look at that there, check that out. 34th and 37th. I mean, he had that 25, and the guy in 37th had 2 20s, but neither one of them could find that 5th.
That's crazy.
Yeah, wild stuff. It's a game of inches, literally.
Yeah, Casey's a good dude. Man, day 1 at the championship, I was just ahead of him, and I thought I was finally going to finish ahead of him in the tournament, and then he posts that 24. I was like, you got to be kidding me! How did he catch 24 on that lake? I mean, I don't even know what the second biggest fish was, but that thing was huge.
Not that big. Oh, Casey will sniff them out.
Yeah.
We're not going to keep you too much longer, but there's a few more questions coming in. Dan Perry, this is just a comment. Said, someone's legit when they have fish jewelry. Is there any story behind that necklace you got on there?
Oh, my little brother gave me this. He took a trip. Well, I guess it was a work thing, but he was down in Brazil and found it in some little hand carved deal. And he knows I'm obsessed with fishing, so I've been wearing it, and I've been doing okay since I got it. So it's not coming off.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get Steve Fields to put the Hobie Worlds down in Brazil. I'm offering a hefty amount to bribe him for that.
What are you thinking? Do they have largemouth? I know they got the peacocks down there.
I want the peacocks, boy. That's all I want. Some big, mean topwater peacocks. That'll be fine.
Nice.
I'll get malaria, whatever else I got to catch from there.
Between the NCAA tournament and the Worlds, Ryan's all about the cocks right now. He's chasing the peacock fames.
Wow.
St. Peter's peacocks and the Brazilian peacocks. The peacocks.
This is not how I thought we'd get canceled, Jeff.
Peacocks, Ryan, you nasty son of a gun.
I'm proud of the peacocks, so keep rolling, boys.
Tim Arthur had a question. How early were your big fish? Were they all early in the event? Did they come early, or did you have to? Didn't you say you caught one of them later on, the 21?
Yeah, one came early and one came. I want to say it was around noon. I'd have to go back and check the timestamp on it, but it was. I want to say it was around noon. I mean, it was not. The early window was done with. It was getting on in the day, and I was starting to get nervous. Trying to decide whether to pull the plug, and that. After I caught that, I was like, I can't leave.
And how big a coal was that? What did that coal for you? Did it coal a 12-incher? You said.
I think it was 12. I'm trying to remember. I think I had 5 at that point. That might have been my 5th.
Either way, that's a huge move.
Remember. I knew I had a 12 in the bag because I remember it was. If you'd zoom in real close, a little tiny piece of the tail just barely touched the line at 12 and a quarter, and they called it 12. And I was debating whether or not to get into it over the quarter of an inch there, and I was like, if I got to keep that 12-incher,
every time, buddy.
So I did not waste any time messing with that, and I'm glad I didn't because I got rid of that small fish, and I think I had a 14 that I called with that 17 something, so that got me from 90 to 93, which I guess technically didn't matter, but at the time it mattered a lot. And it was an ugly fish landing too. The kayak I had started going one way, and the line got draped over the pontoon and got rubbed up against the I guess it hung on the corner, and the fish is up on the surface thrashing, and I'm freaking out trying to get the thing in reverse to back up, but I was happy to have the Mirage drive with the forward and reverse because that had been.
What kind of rod was that you were using? I saw a blue rod laid up on your kayak there. What kind of rods you throwing?
Yeah, it's that's the Quantum Smoke. It's their cranking one. I haven't actually seen them in a physical tackle shop yet. But I saw it come up online and ordered it. I've still got those old KVD cranking series rods, and I've beat them up. I've got guides popping out, and I decided I wanted to check that one out, and I noticed it was a medium heavy. I thought it'd be a good chatterbait rod, and that's what I've been throwing. I mean, I've caught some good fish on it with a chatterbait, but that hybrid hunter has kind of a similar thump, and it's a hefty bait, so it casts pretty well on that rod. Moderate action, and they stayed pinned. And then I was using just a Quantum Smoke. They're 7-foot medium heavy.
Ryan always talks about this, or he's talked about it a couple times on this podcast, about when you win, everything goes right. And like landing that fish, it sounds like a lot of things could have went wrong, but you still got them in the boat. Still got them in the boat, man. So it's like when it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And
I had a couple come off, but I don't think they would have helped, honestly. I mean, I had one. And I'm not even gonna tell the story. That may be all right. I had one hit. I went through the area with a buzz bait. I'm just trying to throw something different at the grass. I had one come up on it, eat it. Wasn't a big fish. And I think I was right after I'd caught that great big one. And I'm thinking that the fish is swimming towards me. I'm reeling on it. The water's dirty, and I got my rod down in the water trying to keep it from jumping. And I reeled that damn thing all the way to the rod tip and felt the buzz hit the rod
Hell
tip.
yeah, brother.
And then I was like, oh, shit. No, I go to swing it, and the thing pops off. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like that. I've never done that with a fish ever. And
I've done it night fishing where you can't really see what's going on and you reel it up way too far and then knock it off with a net. That's my favorite move.
I was so embarrassed. I can't believe I just told everybody that, but
it's fine.
That's far from the most embarrassing thing that's ever been dropped on this show.
We've made worse mistakes live on this podcast, so you're pretty good. Pretty good on that one.
Yeah, man. Anything else you want to get to before we let this guy get out of here, Ryan?
No, I think he's done great. Good finish, obviously good finish in both of your big events so far this year.
Thank you.
And good luck for the rest of the season. Hopefully you can set your alarm clock and try to slide in the TOC with us too.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, congrats, man, and hopefully we'll cross paths at Grand Lake when you come up for that one.
Hey, sounds good.
Yes,
Don't
sir.
get too far off the bank, all right?
Yeah, man. All right. Appreciate everybody watching, man. We'll see y'all next Monday. It's going to be a good one. And Ryan, hey, good luck at Santee, my man. We'll be pulling for you.
Appreciate it. Let's go. I'm ready for that one.
All right. See y'all.
See y'all.